Good morning, dear students. Welcome. In the previous video, we saw how the author got good medicine from a medical college. So now he was there to do the Korah. Once he saw that I was going to live, Satan left me to return to Lhasa. So his driver, Satan, saw that now the author was alright, so he left to Lhasa. As a Buddhist, he told me he knew that it didn't really matter if I passed away, but he thought it would be bad for business. So Satan, like a Buddhist adjective for a person is used when a person is very intelligent or you can say enlightened person. So as a true Buddhist, he says that he knew that it didn't really matter if I passed away, if the author dies. It doesn't have any kind of importance or matter for Satan, but he thought it would be bad for his business. Darshan, the place, didn't look so horrible after a good night's sleep. It was still dusty, partially derelict, neglected, and punctuated, stopped by heaps of rubble, broken stone pieces, and refuse. Refuse that here means unwanted. So the more people were not there. But the sun shone brilliantly in a clear blue sky, and the outlook across the plain to the south gave me a vision of the Himalayas, commanded by a huge snow capped mountain. So he could have the vision of Himalaya, and it was then commanded by a snow capped mountains. Means on the mountains, on the top of every mountain, there was snow. Gurla Mandta is the name of the mountain, with just a wisp of cloud suspended over its summit. Summit is the highest peak. Wisp of cloud, it means very small quantity of clouds were there. The town had a couple of rudimentary general stores. Rudimentary means limited to basic principle, very having the basic amenities or basic things. General stores selling Chinese cigarettes, soap, and other basic provisions, as well as the usual strings of prayer flags. Prayer flags which are used to do the Korah. In front of one, men gathered in the afternoon for a game of pool. The battered means damaged, table looking supremely incongruous. Incongruous means irrelevant. Okay, not in harmony, you can say, in the open air. So the atmosphere was all good, but the table was very damaged. While nearby, women washed their long hair in the icy water of a narrow brook, water body, that babbled down past my guest house, that flowed down past my guest house. Darshan felt relaxed and unhurried. Nobody was in a hurry, but for me, it came with a significant drawback. There were no pilgrims. He was thinking that he would be finding so many pilgrims for doing the Korah, but it was not so. I had been told that at the height of the pilgrimage season, the town was bustling with visitors. Many brought their own accommodation, enlarging the settlement round at its edges as they set up their tents, which spilled down onto the plain. So they used to come with the tents. I had timed my arrival for the beginning of the season, but it seemed I was too early because he did not find any pilgrim there. One afternoon I sat ponder to think deeply, my options over a glass of tea in Darchan's only cafe. After a little consideration, I concluded they were severely limited, so there were no many choices. Clearly, I hadn't made such progress with my self help program on positive thinking. This is what everybody requires when he is alone or at some unusual place. Positive thinking is only the one thing which stays with you and can help you live there. But the author says that he was not good at positive thinking and he was not liking the thing that there were no so many choices even for a glass of tea. In my defense, it hadn't been easy with all my sleeping difficulties, but however, I looked at the positive thinking. I could only wait. He just waited for the pilgrims. The pilgrimage trail was well trodden, where many people have walked and there are so many footsteps. But I didn't fancy doing it alone. The Kora was seasonal because parts of the route were liable to blockage by snow. So there was a particular season to do this. I had no idea whether or not the snow had cleared, but I wasn't encouraged by the chunks of dirty ice that still clung to the banks of Darchan's brook. So still he could see some signs of snow. So he was not encouraged that he should start his journey because he thought that there may be ice or snow further. Since Satan had left, I had not come across anyone in Darshan with enough English to answer even this most basic question, that should the author go there for to do Kora or not. Nobody was able even to answer this simple question. Until that is, I met Norbu, next character. The cafe was small, dark, and cavernous. Cavernous means you can say vast. It is used for size. With a long metal stove that ran down the middle. The walls and ceilings were wreathed, covered in sheets of multicolored plastic of the striped variety. Broad blue, red, and white, these were all stripes there. That is made into stout, voluminous shopping bags sold all over China. This kind of design is also used to make shopping bags. Voluminous for clothes, loose, okay, and having a lot of capacity. So this kind of print was also there, and in many other countries of Asia as well as Europe, this kind of stripes are used. As such, plastic must rate as one of China's most successful exports along the Silk Road today. If we talk about plastic, the main exporter is of course China. The cafe had a single window beside which I had taken a position so that I could see the pages of my notebook because it was dim, dark. I had also brought a novel with me to help pass the time. Norbu saw my book when he came in and asked with a gesture if he could sit opposite me at my rickety table. Rickety table means poorly made. So finally he got some company. You English? He inquired. Norbu asked the author, do you know English? After he had ordered tea, I told him I was, and we struck up a conversation. So finally, the author has found something who knows English. I didn't think he was from those parts because he was wearing a wind cheater. Wind cheater means a wind resistant jacket. So he was wearing that and metal rimmed spectacles of a Western style. He was Tibetan, he told me, but worked in Beijing at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences in the Institute of Ethnic Literature. I assumed he was on some sort of field work, that he has come to do his project or some kind of thing for his this ethnic literature. Yes and no, he said. I have come to do the Kora. Norbu also said. My heart jumped. Author was very happy because finally he has got some company. Norbu had been writing academic papers about the Kailash Kora and its importance in various works of Buddhist literature for many years, he told me. But he had never actually done it himself. So now he has come to have that experience. He has been writing about this, but he had never experienced this. When the time came for me to tell him what brought me to Darshan, his eyes lit up. Norbu was also very happy. We could be a team, he said excitedly. He was very excited and he said that they both could be a team. Two academics who have escaped from the library. It means that two people who have literally written or read about this Kailash Kora, but they have never come out of the library. So now they have come out of the library, come out of the books to gain the practical knowledge. Perhaps my positive thinking strategy was working after all. Maybe he was attracting the positive things now. My initial relief at meeting Norbu, who was also staying in the guest house, was tempered by the realization that he was almost as ill equipped as I was for the pilgrimage. He was not having sufficient things. He kept telling me how fat he was and how hard it was going to be. Very high up to do the Kora, they'll have to face lots of difficulties. He kept reminding me. So tiresome to walk. He wasn't really a practicing Buddhist, he just used to write about this, he was not a follower. It transpired. Transpired means he revealed it. He told me this. But he had enthusiasm and he was, of course, Tibetan. So he wanted to do the Kora. He was not a particular follower of Buddhism, but he was a Tibetan and he was excited for this. Although I had originally envisaged making the trek in the company of devout believers, he had planned that he will be doing the pilgrimage with some believers, and Norbu was not a believer. On reflection, I decided that perhaps Norbu would turn out to be the ideal companion. So finally, he decided that he would do this with Norbu. He suggested we hire some yaks to carry our luggage, which I interpreted as a good sign. So, author also agreed to have some yak, and he had no intention of prostrating himself all round the mountain. Prostrating, to throw oneself on ground, because if they will be having the luggage and they will be climbing on this kind of a mountain, then they will be like falling down on the ground. So he didn't want to do this. Not possible, he cried, collapsing across the table in hysterical laughter. He said, not possible for me. So he started laughing. It wasn't his style, and anyway, his tummy was too big, so he could not afford to carry his luggage on his own. So this was the chapter that finally author got some company to do the Kora. We have not been told here how were they doing this Kora and were they able and how did they return and how was their time there, but their journey to that place is told in this chapter. And now some common acronyms, and this is the need of the hour too, technology. So BTWs, by the way, IDK, you all know this, I don't know, right? IMO, it means in my opinion. LOL, you all again know this, laughing out loud. OMG is very popular, oh my god. TDYL, talk to you later. LMK, let me know. THX, thanks. Next is RAM, that is random access memory. ROM, read only memory. DVD, digital versatile disk. GPU, graphics processing unit. HDD is for hard disk drive. LAN is for local area network. WAN is for wide area network. USB, universal serial bus. IP, internet protocol. WWW, this is World Wide Web. AKA, also known as TBD, to be decided. ACCT is used for account. CEO, Chief Executive Officer. FAQ, this is always there in your books. You must have seen this since your 6th standard or maybe before that. Frequently asked questions. HQ, headquarters. PKG, package. VP, vice president. FYE is for your information. The last one is ASAP, as soon as possible. MIA, missing in action. POW, prisoner of war. I hope you all know about this. CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. SIS, Secret Intelligence Service. AWOL, absent without leave. SWAT, Special Weapon and Tactics. So these are really going to help you whenever you are writing something. Note them down, and tomorrow we'll be discussing the question and answers of Silk Road, and on Wednesday you will be having an objective test based on this chapter. Okay.